See, things have come to head, time out for scare you, scary route today. And follow us down Courage Lane, they cages in, break down the gates. We want all the smoke, like we chiefin' on a pound a day, but not talking intoxicating rage, not this is far more tragic than what's comprehended. This has got to stop. Though I don't understand everything as a man, I'm authorized by God to make this petition. Believe it, especially when you hate and aim to kill a man.
Welcome back to Thinking Outside the Box podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for rocking with us for another week. We made it through this airways yet again, man. So obviously we're doing something right, man. So thank you guys for chiming in, subscribing, liking, commenting on everything that we do. Be sure you follow us on YouTube, TOTB_show on YouTube, Facebook at TOTB the Dopest, and also always on NDTV Network, Thinking Outside the Box podcast, man. Thank you guys for chiming in, man. I want to give a big shout out to Simply You, the event that we was at, man, last Sunday. We rocked the event, man. Shout out. Let's give her a hand clap, man. We want to say thank you, everybody that attended the event. We had a dope time. It was an honor to be sponsors, man, at that event. And be sure to tune in to more events that we got coming up this year. Thinking Outside the Box is about to take off with a lot of different events, and we have something special coming up for you guys, but we'll talk about that pretty soon,
yes,
all right?
Indeed.
So let's introduce the thinkers to the platform as usual. To my right, the man needs no introduction himself, but Holy Grind, tell them what's up, where can they find you?
Man, what's up, blessings, great people, man. Make sure you check me out on Instagram at Holy Grind or at HolyGrind_520 on Facebook. Also, you can look up Holy Grind /H Grinds, the artist, on Facebook, and always you can find me at TOTB.
There it is. There it is. To his right, controversial man himself, Moolah Man. Say what's up to him. Where can they find you?
What's up, people? Find me at Moolah Monster Collections on Instagram. Check me out.
You know it. You know it. To his right, philosopher himself, man, the man with the brain of the whole crew. Philosopher, what can they find
Always thinking and reading. You can reach me on IG, black_scholar, or catch me like Grind said, TOTV.
You know it, the dopest. And of course, I'm Reggie moving forward. You can find me at the NASSOCIETY. And we are Thinking Outside the Box. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another episode. The last couple episodes has been fire. We got all your emails about that going on and everything. So big shout out to everybody that's tuned in, all the new subscribers. If you're new to the show, thank you for joining. Thank you for subscribing and liking our videos and our shows, because we do a lot of good things for the community and for you guys as well, right? So this week, there's been a lot going on in our community. If you guys don't know, we are filming in Chicago, Illinois. I know we're streaming all over the world, but we're talking about an issue that's going on in Chicago, but also around different states. But we're going to kind of dig a little bit more deep into it, because this is more of a serious topic that we want to kind of like reach some hearts and some minds with, all right? So, of course, if you're new to the show, Grind is the person that really can hit home how to explain the topics. So I'm going to let my brother go ahead and tell him what we're talking about today.
Man, again, blessed great people. Today what we want to talk about is, and what we would entitle this show is, today's show, what we want to talk about is the jumping off the porch complex.
Okay.
The jumping off the porch complex. For those who don't know what we're talking about, you know, for those of us who grew up in the 80s and the 90s, you know, it was a time when your parents would tell you can go outside, but you can't leave off the porch. Mm-hmm. You know, so we would find ourselves sitting on the porch watching everything that's going on around, you know, until we felt it was our turn to jump out there in the mix of what's going on, you know. And the thing about it is, what we come to find is the reason that we was told to stay on the porch was because there was a lot of crazy stuff going on out there, you know, and it was a way for us to be close to home, while our parents, whether they keeping an eye on us in its totality or not, but they see us at a safe place to be on our porch. However, you got a lot of people who jump off premature, or people who still jump off with that immature mind state, meaning that while we were sitting on the porch, instead of just evaluating everything that was going on, you know, we just jumped right out into the mess. And it's a lot of people, especially in our communities, that's still living with that complex and still they just jump out there reckless and get entangled in this mess that's causing a lot of havoc in our communities. A lot of from gang banging to selling drugs to messing with many women and girls messing with many boys. You know, it's because we ain't sit back and analyze the situation, and we just believe that it's this complex, this way of thinking, you know, that has got us to the state that we are as a society amongst our people.
Very interesting, man. Once again, we are talking about an issue that is really prevalent, not only in our community, but around the globe, right? So I'm going to ask the thinkers, once again, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to ask the thinkers one by one. Here in Chicago, especially over the last couple of weeks, we've been dealing with a lot of gun violence, a lot of young kids losing their lives. You know, recently, 2 kids, 7 and 5 years old, were sitting in a car, and one of them lost their lives, right?
Wow, that's
because
terrible.
of gun violence. You know, maybe I mean, you hear about many stories like that of people, you know, losing their lives over gun violence. That's totally innocent, right? So I want to ask the thinkers on the panel, what is your view on gun violence, one, and what do you think that we can do as a community to kind of stop or even minimize the use of a gun in a community? Because I know we all had different paths growing up. You know, each one of us here has seen some type of gun violence, maybe used a gun, seen a gun, or whatever. But what do you guys think is the biggest thing that we can do to kind of, because come on, man, a 7-year-old kid losing their lives by just sitting in a car. That kid ain't never had a chance to go to prom or anything that was impactful, man. So what do you think we can do as a community to kind of change that?
Well, I'm gonna say, you know, it's been happening for a while, and it's just getting, you know, out of hand. But these guns is getting out of hand.
Okay.
Because the people gonna continue to do the same thing they've been doing. You know what I'm saying? Jumping off the porch at an early age. But it's now the artillery that's out here. They got switches on these guns where it's just turned into automatic and just spray bullets, like you seen on a couple days ago in Madison and Leamington.
Yeah.
There was over 100 cases.
Yeah, that was crazy.
There was over 100 shell cases.
They said they killed the 60-something-year-old too over there, man, at
See
the
what
gas
I'm saying?
station.
Yeah, like it's crazy. So it's like, you know, we got a lot of Republicans, you know, voted for the NRA. You know, that's right now that should be the top of the list. You know, on Biden's list, you know, one of the top, because it's getting worse. It's assault rifles and artillery, like, you know, real heavy artillery out here.
Yeah.
And these youngins got it. These youngins got it who jumping off the porch at an early age. You know what I'm saying?
And that, I think it's an immaturity is really to play in it.
Right.
Because you think at that age, like with the age when you told to stay on the porch, you look at life like you see TV, you look at video games. Now you got video games. Back then you had shows. We just look at it like, oh, you just shoot somebody. Not realizing that you're actually losing a life or taking a life.
Yeah.
And it's that mentality when they see that we jump. You see when you live in communities where it's happening in this community, you'll see people jumping off and dabbing into it, thinking with the same mentality. Like you said, they're giving these guns to kids, and they just think, oh, I'm shooting somebody, not realizing actually being mature enough to understand what's really going on. And then they doing the records to where they killing little girls.
Come on, man.
And older kids.
They
man.
fascinated by the guns.
That's crazy. It's true though.
Wow.
Reg, you had said something. One of the questions was, what could we do?
Yeah.
Right? So we got to first understand that a gun is a tool, right? And so what we witnessing is that this tool is being is not being utilized the way it was intended to, right?
Okay.
So we're going to have a million scenarios today, and we're going to have a million scenarios tomorrow, because nobody really respects what this tool is for.
Okay,
Whether it's the person who using it or the person who is allowing it to be sold. So in my opinion, I don't really have the answer for it right now, but what I would suggest is it's going to have to start early on in early childhood development, right, in the education system, that we just start talking about guns in grade school, in early education. See, I know it's going to shock a lot of people, but the reality is we have to talk about these things early on, we got to just see. The problem is, in my opinion, we only really talk about it when it impacts something, right? And then if it ain't close to us, then we kind of close that book, like that's no longer important.
Right.
So if it's gonna be important to us, we're gonna have to talk about it like it's important. You know, like if election time was coming, you can escape who they want you to vote for. Vote for this person. Man, vote for this person and vote for that person. They keep it in your face. They keep it in your face. So if gun violence is happening in our community, it needs to stay in our face. It needs to stay at our schools. It needs to stay in our churches. It needs to stay around us so people understand the impact. And so drastic situations going to require drastic measures.
Right.
So you can't treat it the way you treated it before. The cure is going to has to be as drastic as what's happening.
So a good point about that is once again, thank you guys for tuning in. You know, for whatever reason, I like to look at numbers and statistics when it comes to stuff like that in general, right? So in our surrounding area, like we're in Chicago. Over this summer, right? Let's say the summer started in early June.
Right.
Right. Our surrounding areas of Detroit, Milwaukee, Indianapolis, right? On an average, over 1,000 innocent people are killed weekly to gun violence in the surrounding area of Milwaukee, Detroit, Indianapolis, Chicago. 1,000 a week.
Innocent.
And that's just the summer, right? So what is it going to take does it have to hit us personally? Does it have to be one of our people? Does it have to be?
I think people saying that, like, you said, to hit your grandma home, you know what I'm saying? That's when people start understanding, right? I think it's getting so drastic that, like you said, you seen a little girl get killed.
Yeah.
You know, we had over 234 kids getting killed this year.
That's kids. I think that's under 17.
That's under 17.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That ain't including everybody. That's just under 17.
Like,
that's just dead, not shot. That's just actually dead.
And the thing about it is, it's starting to like make people like, man, I'm moving.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't even gotta hit your home no more. It's just getting disgusting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The more and more kids getting killed, you know what I'm saying? It's like babies, 7-year-old, 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, it's rough.
But you can't outrun the violence, though, right?
But I was gonna go back to what you were saying, Scholar, and I don't know if that many got killed or was that how many that were shot.
Probably shot.
I think that was shot. I don't think that many kids actually died. We had a lot that died.
Yeah.
I don't know the total number. I know one thing we did. I know we had over 54 shootings on the expressway. What's that on Dan Ryan? I believe it is between that and 290. Over 54 shootings. But it go back to what Scholar was saying about what can we do. And what's a good point that he brought up about is start to educate the kids early on this, because what's missing is what it's going to take is for people to start establishing moral values into our children at an early age.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think about it. It's because what they see, like Turbo said a good point. He said that they are fascinated by it, but they wouldn't be so fascinated by it if they actually knew. You know what I'm saying? The damage. And I remember, I would think about when I was in I was in 6th or 7th grade. They don't do it no more. For sex education, they took us to, what was that, the Robert Crown Center? I think it was called the Robert Crown Center, where they showed us all these videos, and I'm talking about explicit videos.
Vaginas.
Yeah, and
Really?
nurses with bumps on them.
Oh,
and
wow.
everything showed us the disease,
you
what
know,
it
like,
looked
you
like.
can get this
Like, you
if
can
you
get
don't-
this. That made us a little skeptical about dipping in anything, everything.
Yeah,
you know
because that makes sense. Because if something putting something on your brain, even if you don't want to deal with it, you're gonna think about
Don't think about it, and that's and that's the same thing with a kid. If they start showing them, like showing what a gunshot wound look like when it go into the stomach, how that stomach blow up, and how painful they go through, and start showing some of this stuff to kids, maybe they'll be less likely to just think that they just shooting a gun like on a video game or something.
Okay.
You know.
And you ain't never too old, even to learn about. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
ain't got to be young, because you see how they do in prison. They have old people come back who have, you know what I'm saying, got
Been through
themselves
it.
together, you know what I'm saying, and come and talk to, you know what I'm saying, a group of young people and let them know, like, look, I've been shot up 6 times, man.
But
I've been back and
that
forth.
ain't gonna save us right now, though. You know, we do a lot of stuff with all these little these prayer revivals and stuff. You know, these group. You know, counseling is good for people that's at that point in time when they're ready to receive the counseling, but they have to be a participant. They have to be open enough to say, "I'm willing to
Yeah,
listen
they
to what
definitely
you're
do.
saying." I didn't say that. I didn't.
But still, but for you.
Hold on, listen.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Now, what I'm saying is, I know I probably should have said prayer revival. Listen.
No, not that. I ain't talking about that part. I'm talking about when you told them, but that ain't gonna help because the
It's
seed,
not- it's-
the
it-
seed still got to be planted.
No,
though.
it is. But
And you have one.
Well, I'm
that-
just saying, but to me, yeah, you might get one, but you know, haters up 10-1. You know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna be an effective enough solution. It's sort of like how they treating the COVID, right? Like, if enough people don't get vaccinated, man, it don't matter about the 10 or 15 people that did it. It's gonna have to be massive in order for it to get the numbers or the improvement that we're looking for. So what I'm saying is there has to be a law passed by Congress, man, in early development. What we talking about, like you talk about Black history, we need to talk about how many people died in this community.
But that's part of our history.
Right,
When you
right.
look at that.
They need to hit the numbers. You know, 1,000 people
We
died
had
in this community.
bloodiest summers
We had
and
one of the bloodiest
weekends
summers,
in
right?
99, I
Have
believe it
those
was.
children start having discussion about, because see, the problem is that it ain't that we don't know that it's happening. We removed from it.
But the problem with that is,
Right, yeah.
the problem with that is we still shifting away. It go back. It needs to be addressed to them, and it needs to start at home. Your morals and your values start at home. You know what I mean?
Well, see, now we shifted.
But I'm just saying, because we talking about the immature mind from that jumping off the porch complex. Like, now it's my turn to get into the same things that
So
I'm fascinated about.
you know what you suggesting there? Are you suggesting that because of all this carnage, there's something wrong with our homes?
Oh, it definitely is something
we
wrong
just
with it.
not.
We know
We,
that.
we just,
No, listen, I'm not saying that. I'm just asking for clarity, right?
It is something.
Because you're saying that there's a correlation
Yeah.
between all this violence that you stress and all this killing and all this recklessness
With the home.
With the home.
Definitely.
So it has to be that many dysfunctional homes.
Not necessarily dysfunctional, but something is broken in that home, even if it's a broken line of communication
That's what I was just
about
gonna
what's
say.
going on in the community.
Because you can have 2 parents who just working their ass off
Yep.
and not communicating with their kids about certain shit in life that they're
Okay,
gonna have
well,
to be real
Paul,
about.
for example, say 2 parents not communicating with their kid. Is one of them kids the problem?
It might be the brother who might go
I
entice
mean, but
the
he
youngin.
a part of the family, right?
Yeah.
So it's a dysfunctional home.
Yeah.
That
Lack of communication
No,
is
but
dysfunctional.
that's more than a lack of communication. That ain't no communication, but all these kids need to be accounted for.
No, it's still like a lack of communication can be a
no,
problem.
What I'm saying is you can take care of your kids, but still don't feed them certain things that can occur in their life.
So you trying to tell me that you could be raised in a home? I'm not saying that people can't do bad things. You saying that these people, you saying there's a greater chance of being in a 2-parent healthy home. And let's not use the word communication, right? Because I'm gonna be careful with that word because we got the news and we got the rumors, so they hear what's going
But
on.
that ain't the same thing.
Okay, but let me dress up my conversation. 2-parent home, and one of these kids is the terrorist, and that's because I didn't tell him about being a terrorist.
As an authority figure, yes.
Okay, so authority figure. So then somebody in this house not in order.
Yeah.
Okay, so that goes back to what I'm saying. There has to be a correlation between the mass shootings and our homes.
But see, the biggest point that
Right.
both of you guys are making,
Right.
if of course you guys remember, but if you guys remember, if you follow the show, season 1, we had a guest on J-Dub, man, a very, very good brother,
Shout out to
smart
J-Dub.
kid.
Yeah.
Shout
out to 6'2".
6'2".
We appreciate him coming on, but he wasn't saying, he was speaking on behalf of the youth. not saying that he was going through this, but he was saying that the youth, they don't look up to the people in their home. They look up to their peers in their community. They big homies, right? So that's why they feel like, oh, I can get money quicker by not getting a 9 to 5, by following my big homie. Oh, my big homie got a pistol and a bang on him. I need a bang on me. You know, like they look up to those people. So it's not necessarily that they're not getting the teaching in home, is that they look up to outside of the home.
Right.
But
Well,
this
that's
the
what you
key.
said
But
with
this
the
is key,
communication.
though. But this is the key, right?
Right,
But
right.
this is the key to that, because something he also said, which is something he also said, which had to do with communication, was their biggest influence was from music.
Yeah.
He said that as well. So with that being said, is that what Turbo's saying is like, okay, regardless on who you look up to the most,
Yeah.
it has to be something in you. Something has to be planted in you to tell you that that's wrong. If you have nobody in there governing you, telling you that what's right or wrong, then when you hear and you get somebody who just feeding you what's wrong, you're gonna think that wrong is the way of life.
Because they got the louder voice.
But not that, yeah, not louder voice or the voice period.
Yeah, they got the
Because
voice
they
period,
got the
yeah,
voice
period.
period.
Right,
So
right.
it has to be somebody there to give you, to feed you morals. Like, listen, I know my kids, they grow up, they may choose a different path, or they may do something outside of what they taught.
Right, right.
But that don't excuse me from telling them.
But you had already planted the
what's
seed.
right. Exactly.
Now,
they able to, when they go through life problems and they see the downfall from what they do,
Yeah.
they see the things happening, they can be able to weigh out like, okay, Pops always told me this, I looked up to dude told me this got me hell. Pops brought a lot of peace to me through the things that he taught me, and a lot of things. So it does still need to be done, regardless if you think it reached right then and there or not, because one water, one plant, God get an increase. It still has to be planted, because if ain't nothing planted, then it can't be water, or you can't have
And
room.
some-
to
now
grow.
look, I'm not sabotaging the home, but we suggesting, because when I said education, and you said it has to start at home.
No.
So if we looked at both education and home, right, you suggested that two parents could be working and this, that, or the third, right? Regardless if two parents working or doing whatever they have, those two parents need to accept the fact that something is being missed
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'm going on.
Yeah.
Because guess
So,
what?
so we have to start
Because
taking
guess
some
what?
type of
I'm gonna-
responsibility
I'm-
somewhere,
yeah, that's
right?
true. Because
Right, right.
True.
usually, when you have those two parents and they have multiple kids,
Right.
they ain't already fucked up with the oldest one because
Right.
not communicating with them. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? So now the younger brother looking up to the older brother because mama and daddy ain't gave me nothing.
That's why I said school, because they have a better chance of getting that message at school, which is structured, than
But
home.
I got a problem with
Not-
that.
I know,
Not-
but I'm not
yeah.
trying to. I'm not. Don't misinterpret me, right?
No, I'm not saying what
I'm
you're
not
saying
saying
is
what,
wrong.
what I'm saying is we looking for a solution. So I don't know how to fix that. What he was talking about. The homes starting off this way. So if it ain't no solution for that, then I got to come up with a contingency.
Which I agree.
Right, right.
I agree that it should also be something into schools, but we can't let the responsibility rest on that. And the reason it has, because that's just like now. Look at what they teaching. I don't, like I say, and I keep saying it. I don't agree with them teaching my kids that it's okay for a boy to be a girl. And you got schools teaching that now. So what if I just left that up to the schools? You know what I mean? Like, it's up to me as a parent to show them it's okay if they want to feel like that, but this is not what you are a boy.
That's why you do your teaching at home.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's go back to our numbers then. Reg, you said we have huge numbers. Turbo, you said that these numbers is getting ridiculous. Our homes are getting ridiculous.
Amen.
Still. So our homes are worse than the shootings. then.
Amen.
Yeah.
So,
Amen.
so
Some of the
there's-
shooters live in the home.
no, so
They harming
the
them.
epidemic
They
is
harming
not
them.
that Buddy shot up everything. The epidemic is all the homes that we got, the families or the men or the women, they done jumped off the porch.
Man.
And that's important because we think of urban communities, right? You think of urban communities, especially in these public schools, right? Think of a day-to-day activity for a teenager, 15-year-old. You go to school, you there 8 hours a day. You come home, your parents been working all day. What's the first thing they ask their parents? Can I go outside?
Right.
They outside for 3-4 hours. So it's like 12 hours a day. All they hear is what they hear in school with their peers and gun violence and sex and drugs. Then they come home, go outside again, and see them same kids. By the time they go home to listen to what their parents say, it's 8, 9 o'clock. It's time to eat and go to sleep.
Yeah.
Man.
That's
So-
why I was saying you can go. Sometimes kid goes unnoticed when you've been working.
That's true.
I'm keeping it 100. Like,
Oh no, I believe that.
because your everyday, you know what I'm saying, routine is just got you just in like a robot.
So you know what we suggesting there, right? You suggesting that we not raising our kids right. Because somebody got to be responsible, right?
Yeah.
I ain't saying me and you. You suggested that people.
I think people need to look at themselves.
Yeah.
Listen, look at that kid who they kicked out the house.
Come on.
View all the troubles he done been in, and he done put other people in, and say, I haven't been a good parent.
Yeah. Especially in urban communities.
Look at your baby daddy and say, baby, it ain't your fault. I messed up.
But that and that's because they still stuck with that same complex, man. They jumped off the porch and they ain't never returned
But
home.
one thing I
To
used to
their
always,
values and their morals, man. And people that left their families hung out to dry.
Yeah.
one thing I used to always say, when you jumping off the porch, if you don't have no type of discipline inside you, you're going to self-destruct. And what I mean by discipline, we have to be able to control our emotions, be able to control the way we act, think, you know what I'm saying? Especially when we're in a game in the streets where it's life or death. You understand? You can, you know what I'm saying? You can have somebody, you can have somebody can murder you. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't have no type of self-discipline, jumping off the porch, you're going to end up getting that discipline from either jail or somebody going to put the act rights on your ass. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but he only
and you got to learn from that way.
He only jumping off the porch because there wasn't nobody at home to tell him not to get off the porch. Who was at home? Who raised you? Like, what we really, instead of putting the shooter on TV, we need to start putting their parents on the news.
Man, bro.
Like,
On
you
the
know,
real.
this is Tom's mother right here. She birthed him, and her daddy, he responsible for these 5,000
Man.
killings, right? Start putting the parents on the news, right?
You know what's crazy? Like if people will look at you like they be like, that's crazy to do that to want to blame. But you know what's funny?
Right.
They could tear up something around the house, or they tear up your car. You ain't finna be driving that car. I ain't finna be paying for that. You ain't finna be doing this. I ain't finna be paying for that. But when it comes to them acting a fool out here in the streets and doing something wild, we shouldn't be held responsible for it.
That's why I
But let them
said,
do something stupid.
Yeah.
They get this already sanctioned to come back to you if they do it.
Right.
You the first one. Not on. I be damned if you finna do that and I gotta foot the bill. I be damned if you do that in my car. So you should be in the same way when it comes to this
Because-
stuff going on in the streets.
because morally, you probably want to prove that, but you said it's a serious situation, and coaching them and saying that, because I don't know, I may be wrong. I think we don't even care about jail no more. Like jail, like seeing man, people taking jail time like it,
But-
I don't know, and they could be lying.
They
but the
say
way,
that till they get in front of that judge.
Right,
and they hit that gavel.
right, but they show giving it.
Before that,
Right.
that mug
That
shot.
mug shot.
But they really trying hard to prove it. Like
Yeah.
I'm confused. They giving a hard effort. What I'm seeing is the fix gonna be unpopular.
Yeah. I agree.
That's what. So unless we ready to get unpopular and do something drastic,
To change it.
it can't change.
It's going to get really worse before it get better.
Oh, we like to kill more.
No, it's going to be more getting killed.
Kill.
You know what I'm saying? Because of what's going, like I say, the guns ain't getting no smaller.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Social media always is a percentage of, like, if you could go from what you be saying about the rap, or you know what I'm saying, just by people. I know guys love showing me different types of guns. People, I'm like, yo, like, what do that do for you? Like okay, you got one, you got two, but what what do that do for you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You a working guy.
Right, say
Like,
you act like you finna go to war.
Yeah,
like you
like-
got the whole Soviet Union after you, Soviet
And they
Army after
might
you or
get
something.
all the guns that they talk about they got. Like
Yeah.
I never will
know
underestimate
some. Yeah.
nobody who say, Joe, I got this,
Like,
because
got
they
it.
do.
They got them.
They do.
But they don't understand all the guns in the world.
Go ahead, Red. I got a question after
Yeah,
Red.
and then I don't know why I just thought of it, but in the penitentiary mindset, a person that's locked up, they got a body, they're looked up as, oh, he the man.
We got static.
You know what I'm saying? Like if a person is in prison for rape or something like that, of course they ain't, motherfuckers gonna beat them.
Right.
But if you in jail, oh, I got a body, I smoked a couple motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you gonna have a little bit, your chest is a little heavier. You know what I'm saying? And that's the mindset of a lot of youth. And I think about it, which real quick, I watched the movie the other night. It was one of my favorite movies. Y'all know I'm big on movies, right?
Right. I
New
am
Jack
too.
City, right? So New Jack City, Nino Brown was a motherfucker, right? Nino Brown was sitting there saying, when I was young, I was a teenager, I had to prove myself in a gang. I had to go kill this lady that was an innocent lady to prove I belong. He said, I walked up, shot her in the head, I ain't even see her body hit the ground. And that's still going on to this day. The younger people feel like they have to prove themselves.
You missed the big part,
You know what I'm
though.
saying?
He talked about being high of angel dust, too. And that's exactly. You got people going around high doing this stuff right now.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. So would you be offended if the government stepped in harder?
I really believe, like you said, it takes something drastic. It go back to what you said. Man, you start putting it on parents. Man, if you tell people, everybody who got a child 6 years and under, going forward, any crime that they do up until the age of, say, 21, as a parent, you responsible for it?
I'm telling
you know our people. We'll be like, I will break your neck if I.
I'm telling you,
know what I'm saying? You know, like I know how we
we
don't
should
play
really,
about that.
like, if somebody got to go to jail, right, and we saying we can't stop it, here it is. Up until 18, if your kid get caught up in a crime, the daddy going to jail too.
What?
That daddy, boy,
if you got 6 kids out here, boy, you got to start. You gonna have you 6 lawyers because each one of these kids cut up.
Come on.
Listen. I'm probably talking crazy, but they could start finding the parents.
That's mess with their money.
Start finding them. Start taking away certain. See,
not gonna happen. No, I'm just saying that's not gonna happen.
Anything can happen.
But what he's saying, though,
right now, listen. Why it couldn't happen if we passed a bill to say that?
I'm just saying.
It sounds silly.
To find a parent for the
sometimes the kid ain't even ain't at home.
But it all goes
You
back.
gonna find me for something ain't at my house.
But it all goes back to
right. Yeah, but that's the reason why he ain't at your house.
Cause he a menace.
Right. So you get
I kicked him out.
You at home in bed, so he got to terrorize us, and you mad because
he terrorized me and my.
But you produced him though.
My daughter. You know what?
That just means you got to spend more time.
What you
with
said before.
You need to keep them cuffed.
If the chicks know now what they know, you know what I'm saying? If they knew now what they knew before, Joe, they wouldn't have had that baby by that nigga.
Ooh.
Well, I don't know that. Hey, let's go.
They wouldn't have had the baby by that nigga.
Hold on, let's deal with that, because that's the issue too. That's jumping off the porch issue too with these females who jump off early, who go get involved with these type of dudes too.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Let's deal with that.
I was just telling them that the other day. I'm like, oh, you got some chicks who went on and dated a beta, let him lead, then had 3 kids bound, all boys. You understand? And they treacherous. And now the mama lead now. You know what I'm saying? You went in, you let this guy lead, but now the mama lead. So you got to see how the son thinking. Man, dad was a man when I first got in this world. Now, said mama tossing dad around like he a piece of furniture. You know what I'm saying? Like, Joe.
But they doing it now. They give them initiative for it to play out to be that way anyway. Where you got the woman where if you feel like you're responsible for that child, regardless, you'll stop just having these babies thinking that a lot of them having them thinking that they checks. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of them because they didn't get out here and they didn't jumped in. Now it's my turn. Now they in it. Now they out here having babies and using them for a check. You know what I'm saying? Using them for money. You got some getting with gas because of their status. You know what I'm saying? Because they known to be shooters and stuff like that, stupid stuff.
And knowing they gonna get left.
But if you make them responsible,
With the
because that's the
kid.
big, exactly. But that's what we talking about as far as what he's saying is, what Scholar's saying about as even when he's talking about putting it on a parent, make the parent more accountable for the actions of the child. This stuff will slow down.
Because, like,
Okay.
we'll say that stuff didn't happen. People didn't think slavery was going to end it. People didn't think, people was going to have the right to vote. These things were unimaginable, right? Until somebody went on ahead and had the nerve. Like, people say we should get rid of policing, right? It sounds like but some people really believe that. So another suggestion would be, I think, like, every male before they're 18, we should sign them up for the military, right? And even if they don't, we should come pick them up. If they ain't working or in college, we should hunt them down, right? And force them to work for the government. Now, the reason why I say that, listen.
This one boy deep.
Listen.
Really?
Hear me out. Wait. Let me give you my spiel, right? Like, you ever seen the movie Gangs in New York?
Yeah.
When America was first being civilized, you couldn't just come here unless you said what your contribution was going to be, right? You couldn't even be a citizen unless you signed up to serve the country, right?
Paperwork.
Right. So why am I saying something that sounds crazy by simply saying what's going to be your contribution? You just can't just be here. You just can't just wake up and just be here in the world. So the ones that ain't actively contributing, we gonna put them in a position where they gonna give back to their government.
Well, I just think it should be an option.
Oh, well, I know. We fresh out of options right now.
No, but I'm saying
no,
even in that
it can't. What I'm saying is, there can be options if you are pursuing something.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
the
that's what I'm
option,
talking
right?
about,
If you want to go to school or you can self-navigate yourself, right? Fine. But if you ain't on nothing,
and you out here catching cases,
we got something for you to
Yeah,
do.
I
We can
agree.
drop you off there in Baghdad somewhere, or Afghanistan, like you said.
Yeah, you want to shoot?
He can
You
show
like
them all the
guns?
guns he want to.
Yeah.
Just because we got people out here crying all over the world. Tell me, what we gonna do? Man, let's just get half of them, drop them off there in Haiti, have them start just cleaning up all that rubble over there, right? Right? Listen, I'm telling you,
Yeah,
bro,
yeah.
we can start dropping them MREs down there, and if they hungry, they'll figure out how to eat. And then come back and get them and stuff like that. It's gonna have to be drastic.
I understand that. You're not.
You know what I say,
If
though?
you get there, if you're going through this and you mess around and you got a record already before,
Yeah.
and I was one who had one before I was 18.
Right.
But if you would have threatened me with something like that,
Right.
nah, I'm trying to be straight because I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I want to be free.
Right.
Because now you really feel like you're enslaved.
Now I ain't talking about the ones
That's
that do
productive.
serious crimes, right? If they do serious crime, we gonna chop them away. Rape, all this type of stuff. We gonna put them in that system. But I'm talking about the one where Ray just don't know exactly what he gonna do, right?
He's stealing radios. He getting caught with guns.
We gonna go pick him up.
Okay.
We not
Yeah.
finna keep sending him to jail
Yeah.
for this petty crime, like
Yeah.
Charles, so he can get it right. Like he a bad criminal. He can't get it right, and then he can be rebellious. But just like jail can get you in line,
Yep, get in line.
Uncle Sam will get you in line.
Yeah.
He'll drop your ass somewhere out in one of them wilderness somewhere.
I can't
You
argue
might
that.
want to pay attention.
You know what I say too? That's a good choice too.
Right.
But another option too is any gun holder or what's called FOI owner,
FOI car holder, yeah.
you should be able to just have one gun.
I don't think.
NRA will be against
Listen,
that.
but I don't care. They got assault rifles on the deck.
But
you
thi-
feel me?
Now you
So-
accusing gun owners.
But
of
guns
this.
ain't the problem. Cause
Guns ain't the problem.
In Texas, they just didn't wipe
No,
away
right now,
everything.
listen.
They don't need nothing.
It ain't. Listen,
They don't need no Ford
it's not the
car,
person
they don't
holding the
need
gun.
nothing.
I'm telling you, it's the guns this time. Y'all don't see what's out there. It's the guns.
Bro,
It's sticks
But them
out
guns
in
is
Texas-
illegal.
In Texas, they don't need nothing.
B,
Yeah.
I understand they legal.
No, illegal.
Illegal.
No. You can go to Indiana and get a FN. Like right off and get it today.
No, it's not like that, bro. It ain't like
Boy,
that. Listen, you can get, if you buy a gun in your name, that's not the guns most of these people not getting caught with guns in their name.
No, what I'm saying is, let's start with that first. Because now, I understand, of course, if you got illegal guns, we can't capture that. We don't know the amounts of that. They can just only get those off the streets, try to. But what I'm saying is, let's get to these ones who got them already. Because let me tell you something. The ones who got them, Guess what they always file a report for?
Stolen.
Stolen gun. Always. Hey, I'm talking about out of 4 probably gun holders, somebody stole their gun. Even they go in police houses and steal their guns.
But I'm saying
these are the guns that be out there.
You gonna go right to the manufacturer then? Don't make them.
Well, I'm saying it needs to be a problem with the NR. That's why I was saying it got to start there. It ain't gonna go. You know what I'm saying? Over here with these.
They're not gonna do that.
They got to.
You know what? No, what they ain't got to because those guns ain't affecting their community.
Right.
But guns are affecting.
Not their community.
But they can't look at it like that now.
But that's how they are.
But they shouldn't.
But that's how when you look, like I said, when you look at places like Texas where they legalizing it for you to carry a gun without anything, you can go buy a gun and walk around with your gun.
Walmart with the gun.
You know what I'm saying? You can do all that.
Oh, really?
I'm just saying, when you can do that stuff there, and then you look at
open
here and you
state.
can do it, then there's something else going on.
Yeah.
It's not just the guns. Then
Right.
It's the morals and the values.
It's the mentality
of the
behind
who
the
have the
gun.
mentality behind the gun.
I understand that. But guess what? It was the same. We was the same people holding these guns at our young age, right?
Illegally.
But what we was holding.
Illegally, though.
But what we was holding. 38 snubs, 2 5s, 38.
Illegal.
What I'm saying is, that's small artillery.
I get what you're
So,
saying.
you know what I'm saying? People ain't dying off. You know, I'm keeping one.
Oh, they was dying off of them.
No. What I'm saying is people dying. Okay, listen, people dying. What I'm saying is, it is multiple. Dude got shot in front of the county. Got over 100 shots.
Yeah, but just
You ain't never heard that before in your life.
Yes, I did.
100 shots in front of Cook County?
But right in front of Cook County, no. I never heard that. That was my first time in front of Cook County. But I have heard, I know somebody that's been shot a lot of times. They found like
I think one bullet could kill me, right?
Some shells around them.
Like,
You know, so
I think the other 100 bullets was the theatrics, right?
Yeah.
Because one killed.
Yeah. So basically, we're saying that, once again, thank you guys for tuning in to this topic. More of a serious topic here. So, Scholar is saying that more of, as far as the jumping out the porch complex, you know, we need to start teaching this more in schools at an early age. We need to start utilizing, holding parents accountable. You know, he even mentioned sending them to the military at an early age.
I do. I support
you
that.
know,
Shout out to the military.
You know, I mean, so those are some ways that we can kind of help reduce the level of gun violence. You know, we got Moolah saying that is, which I see where he's saying about it's the guns.
Right,
the guns have drastically changed. Now there's
And I respect that.
higher level of artillery now, you know, and which I do agree. Nobody ain't holding no 4.5s,
Right.
no deuces no more. They holding big stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what's really damaging our community. So I get what you're saying about that, bro. Grind, like, what do you think, you know, give the people, like, what do you think that we should do as a community to kind of lessen this gun violence? Because today, it's going to be even worse, as Moolah said. What do you think we can do, man?
I really believe that we talked a lot of we've approached a lot of topics at TOTB.
Yeah.
You know, about, you know, broken homes and, you know, the absence of the black man and families. You know, it's building families even valued amongst our community and things like that. And I think that's the biggest problem, because we all have been in agreement when we sat down and thought about it and really even discussed it and discussed it. It's like, man, we have to start teaching our children early. And men have to be an active part of the life of young men.
Okay.
Because if a man is not, I'm talking about a real man, is not active in the life of a young man, he will be more emotional, as his mother is emotional. You know, and a man that's already built violent to be strong and emotional is dangerous. And that's why kids are the way that they are nowadays anyway. So we have to start initiating, we have to take accountability, you know what I'm saying, in our family. We have to take accountability for where we lacked at. Not saying that people won't stray off the course, but if you're not planting any seeds of moral, or planting any morals, any values into them, then what do we expect them to do other than act like vicious animals? You know what I mean? We have to start, and when I say accountability, we have to reprimand our children. We got to stand up in our communities.
And you know why we got to do that? It's simple, because when a kid growing up, he start learning little beliefs and what he feels this is right. And if you don't like chin check him, you know what I'm saying? Before he start knowing, like, I'm standing on this.
Right.
Before he start smelling himself.
You know what I'm saying? B, I'm standing on this.
Right.
Boy, what you mean you standing on what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't come to him when he was starting to learn and you know, going out there in the field and bringing shit back.
When he was sucking up game.
Yeah, he was sucking up game from somebody or something. You know what I'm saying? And now it's almost too late when you come at him when he's 18, because now he like, nigga, I've been thinking like this since 12.
15, 16.
Where
You got to
you
get
been
him
at?
before 15,
Yeah.
16.
Where you been at? You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely right. We gotta you know what I'm saying, speak to him and guide them, and especially those times from 12 to like 15, 16 years old. That's when they start learning themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Body change.
And I like to say too, just piggybacking on that, we need to bring up charges on these women too, right? Stop choosing these weak men. You know, Grind talked about earlier. You know, sex ed is important. You keep producing by these weak men, and they keep managing it. Because see, what I'm concerned about is, it's right what you're saying by a healthy man, but what if this a weak man trying to discipline these kids? Because when you were telling me about Buddy, I wouldn't want somebody who call himself disciplining the kid and harming them, right? Because he ain't even physically fit to be giving out them type of instructions.
Yeah.
So now we got to start bringing the women up on charge. That's why I said we got to start finding the parents. See, I know people don't want to understand that, like.
Because they don't want to take accountability.
Right,
Nobody want to take accountability.
Because
And women always bring home lost dogs. Let me tell you something. No, bring home old furniture from garage sales and shit. Listen, it's potential. Fuck that. That's not potential, girl. You know what I'm saying? What is you doing?
like if you ain't took care of the last three, you might not want to give him one. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
If he ain't never care about none of his kids, you might not want to give him one.
Oh,
Okay.
sometimes they need somebody.
Hey,
Sometimes
he
they
tell you I got 6 kids and you ain't met
Right.
You ain't met none of them.
Hey, he got 6 kids and you ain't met none of them.
You might not want him talking to your death.
I be thinking some girls just, you know what I'm saying, pick a guy that's, they don't want to take out the garbage.
They just jumped in the mess. They jumped off the porch too.
like-
They jumped right into it. It's my turn to start laying up and doing this stuff.
Because see, Reg, if you don't hold the parents responsible, right? Like, because when these killers, you said they did all these shootings, right? They got to go home. They sleep somewhere. They eat with. We go.
Matter
We
of
go.
fact,
We
they
gonna even say no
always
name.
home.
We ain't even
Yeah,
say no
but they
name.
try to laugh.
They always come on and tell me they outside. They home
Yeah.
until they ready to go ride out on somebody.
Yeah,
We
We
ain't
know
gonna
it.
even speak of nobody, but it was spent. We had in our childhood where Buddy did some horrendous stuff. He showed up to the barbecue, like wasn't nothing wrong, right? Like so, like who opening the door for these people?
Man, like you said, they at home.
Who inviting them in?
They ain't got no credit. They ain't got their own. You know.
And the more and more we don't get a hold on this, it's people that's gonna get this thing under control.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like what's they say on the highway, they came up with $12 billion that they're spending on this new camera system.
Okay.
It's
To
a license.
identify license
It's
plate,
a
right?
license plate reader.
Yeah.
Right. Now that sound cool till you get them 10,000 speed tickets in the mail, right? Now this thing was for the shooting, right? Man, what I got these 12,000 speed tickets for, man? What's going on?
Going crazy on the
I mean,
highway.
because now, man, Big Brother see us everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask this question to you, Rez, because I'm asking you. What if they told you, if somebody came and told you, you're responsible?
I would have to eat that.
No,
How you feel about it?
I'm saying,
I mean-
how would you change in your approach to your child?
That's a fair question.
Because see, I can't really talk about how the society is. My sons know my teaching off bat since they was born.
See?
So my sons ain't about to pick up no drugs, no guns, no prostitutes, because they know in the back of their mind, Oh, Pops ain't, he ain't for that shit.
And if
You
they
know what I'm saying?
and if they told you responsible,
And if I'm responsible for whatever they did outside of my teaching, I would have to eat that.
And when my
and with your, but I'm saying, how would that intensify? That's my question.
Yeah.
Would that intensify your efforts?
Of course.
Exactly.
It would have
oh yeah,
to.
listen,
Exactly.
because
Have
my
to.
son, he was hooping.
Exactly.
He broke somebody's car window. It was him and the cousin. And if you know your kid, I knew it was my son. I know he did it, right? You know your kid, like, it's a good chance. How much do I owe you, right? I knew my son had did it. He may not have meant to do it, but I knew him that it was a possibility. But I'm on him like Johnny on the spot now.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to be paying no fees when you going out here doing. That's why I say, if you start taxing the parent, or look, you ain't even got to fine them. I'm going to give you an out. Just put her paper in the Sun-Times paper. This Glory's son that shot up them people on the expressway. You know, start putting it in the church paper. Because people don't want to be associated with that mess, right? Dolores' kids shot the library up, right?
Not the church
Killed
paper.
two.
Right.
Put it in the church paper, put it in the Sun-Times, and now she ain't going to jail though, right?
Right.
We just want you to know Dolores worked for you and her kid shot them people up over there.
What she gonna do? She gonna go home and snap.
Dolores gonna get fired for
Dolores.
Lord.
But I'm just saying, you know what our people gonna do, bro.
I'm just saying, because look at cancel
He ain't mad.
culture.
That's what I'm
Cancel
saying.
culture go out here and do their cancel if you say something. This is a simple fix.
Yeah.
If the daddy is estranged and he ain't in the file, Leroy's son, by his third baby mama, shut up the stove. Leroy currently lives.
Put his Facebook page
Put it out there.
Put Leroy out. Leroy ain't been in his son's life for 15 years,
Man.
right? And his son shooting up the school. The next shooting his son get associated in, Leroy possibility may be getting fired.
Man.
Now I know he didn't do nothing. Now I'm just saying, what you think Leroy gonna do?
I bet he put more effort into getting him under control than to going out to drink with his partners every weekend.
Leroy
That's
leaving
that.
Chicago. I know that.
You better.
Leroy
That's
getting
the
the hell out of
answer.
Chicago.
If y'all hear me, Chicago,
Leroy.
if you want to stop the
Say
gun
bouncing.
violence,
Bouncing.
start putting the parents' name in the church bulletin and in the newspaper.
With that being said, let's switch gears, man. Y'all funny as hell, man. Hopefully, y'all we make it fun, but hopefully y'all took something from what we said, man, because it is a serious subject. But with that being said, it's about that time, right?
Man, it's about that time, man. Shout out to the plug, man.
Shout out to the plug.
Shout out to the plug, man. We just want to shout out some great people on today and some business establishments and whatnot. Man, first and foremost, if y'all ain't up on them, get up on them. Counsel with the council, man. Shout out to Counsel with the council, man.
Most
Three young
definitely.
ladies, man, they came through. They rocked it with us in season 1, man. They gonna be had one on back, and we gonna probably have them back
for
some more,
sure,
man.
for
They
sure.
definitely a good look for us. We appreciate them. Shout out to J-Dub62.
My man.
Yes, sir. Shout out 6'2".
6'2", shout out to him. Young man came through for us. Cornell, you
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? Shout
most
out to
def.
Cornell, T.
T.
Who else?
Rocky.
Shout out Rocky.
Rocky, can't
Rock
forget
Your
the-
Body Fitness.
Yes, sir.
Rock
Rocking
Your
it.
Body Fitness, man. Y'all follow her at Rocky Fresh on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
man. Make sure y'all get in tune, man. And as always, you got us three up here with you, man. We up here trying to share a little bit with y'all, but you got the Now Society
My man.
podcast with
Yep.
our man Reggie moving forward.
sure.
You know what I'm saying? You got Holy Ground, all the music. Follow, keep in tune on all the latest music. And of course, on all the greatest urban apparel, man. Check out Moolah Market.
Moolah.
The
Moolah,
Market
baby.
collection, man. Shout out to the plug, man.
Shout out to the plug.
Shout out to the plug. Okay, guys. So, if for whatever reason this is your first episode listening to us, we normally do a segment called "What's in That Bag." Right? First season, it was a little different, but this season we're doing something to switch it up a bit. So we asking you guys to send emails about what's going on in your life. Give us a scenario that you want the thinkers to help you out with, give you some sound advice with. And normally we help, all right?
try.
Sometimes we try to help, but we just hope that we give the best advice possible, right? So this week for What's in That Bag is another interesting letter. You guys ready?
Go.
Let's go.
All right, so it says, what's up, fellas? This is Jerry from the west side of Chicago. I am a newcomer to the show, but I like what y'all talk about, so keep it going. Much love, bro. Appreciate it. Here's my little situation that maybe y'all can give some insight on. Me and my fiance have been together for a year, and we about 2 months away from the big day. Congratulations, bro.
Congratulations.
This girl is everything that I could ever ask for, and I can't wait to spend my life with her. Dope. Last week, while we was going over our guest list, she asked if we can invite the whole wedding party to my house for drinks and instructions, and of course I said it was cool. I have a best man and 4 groomsmen who all showed up. She have a maid of honor and 4 bridesmaids that all came, but when one of the bridesmaids walked through the door, my heart dropped. Why, you ask? Well, because it was a girl whom I've been having sex with heavily before I met my fiance.
Okay.
Fellas, when I say this was the most uncomfortable and awkward experience in my life, I am not exaggerating. I kept wondering, how in the hell do she know my fiance, and how in the hell she gonna be in my wedding? I pretty much ghosted her after I met my fiance, and actually I kept having sex with her maybe 3 times while I was dating my fiance because we wasn't official, so I know she's not happy about that. But when I saw her in my crib that day, she just smiled and said, "Hello, Jerry, congrats," and walked off. She didn't even tell my fiance about our past. So what should I do, man? Should I tell my lady that one of her bridesmaids and I had a heavy sexual experience multiple times, or should I just leave it alone in the past and say nothing because she didn't mention it to my fiance? Thank you for your letter, bro. We gotta help this brother out, man. This man's getting married in 2 months. Thank you for the letter,
Talk to
Jerry.
the married guys first, man.
What do y'all think he should do, man? He getting married in 2 months. He crazy in love with this girl. He wanted to spend his life with her. You know, he invited the wedding party to his crib. Everybody was kicking it, you know. In walks a person who he knew he ghosted. He knew he ghosted her after he met his fiance. Even still had sex with her a couple of times because they were still dating. But he ghosted her. Now she walks in the door and she's a part of the wedding. Should he tell his fiance or should he just leave it alone?
Leave it alone.
Really?
That's what I would do.
Okay. Grind got a look on his face.
That's a recipe for destruction.
Is it? Okay.
So leave it alone.
No, because well,
Go ahead,
no,
go
ahead.
let
Go ahead,
Grant-
you fin, go ahead.
I would leave it alone because, like, to me, like how we said, he was a single person. I don't care how it came about and all that stuff. Leave that in the past unless he worried about something about it. Because what if you had a huge body count? She may work with one of your bodies or something like that. I just say, like, I'm not gonna bring nothing to the table that she don't need to know about because she may cannot manage that, and then I may mess up my future trying to be honest about something that ain't necessary. Now here's the thing, y'all have to agree with me. Like my thing is, I believe that morally things could be correct, but then you also have to understand some people may not have the ability to understand it and grasp it the right way. So if it ain't no problem, it ain't no problem. I'm gonna keep it pushing. I'm gonna stay up out that way, and I'm gonna go on with my life. You know.
Moolah, what you got? I'm afraid to ask you.
Well, I'm gonna keep 100. Like, I can't tell him what I would do. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell you what he should do.
Okay.
Right? It can get a little bit messy.
You think?
Because that's a bridesmaid. She coming over by the house eating some macaroni and cheese. You know what I'm saying? So now that one moment finna turn to 2 moments, then it's finna get kind of creepy because, you know, wifey might bring over there, we might go on a double date or something. Now she rub my leg up under the table and shit. So now we in dark man zone right now, right? You know, so like if you finna start off fresh, man, keep it honest. You know what I'm saying? You finna get married.
Whoa.
You know.
Okay, Moolah.
That's why I say I can't say it for me. I'm gonna say it for what he should do. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, start off on a clean slate. But if you know your chick bipolar who you finna marry, don't tell her shit. Don't tell her nothing.
All right. Grind, what you got?
So it's a key things that he said there.
Okay.
First of all, what is a bridesmaid? A bridesmaid.
Friend.
There we go.
They should already know.
But that's the problem. If they don't know, he said they don't know on the letter. She never told him. So, and then the way she approached him, like, hey, Jerry, how you doing? And then just dip.
Right.
Like, she could be on something. Now, what you don't want to do is to get married to your wife. You know she friends with her that you didn't know, and then later on down the line while y'all married, she coming up there and she bring it up.
Bingo.
You know I used to sleep with him.
Bingo.
You see what I'm saying? So going into it, being that you a bridesmaid, knowing that you in my wedding, listen, me and you got to have a talk now. You know what I'm saying? Let me break this down to you right now, because I'm clear. It ain't like I'm guilty or nothing. This was before we got serious, and it was before you. That's another key thing. He said this was the woman he ghosts for his fiance. So this ain't like this a couple relationships back. This the person that I just left with. And you don't know, she ain't told you, but y'all friends? Okay, let me break it down to you before she try to get messy. Now, ain't no trying to keep it honest. I'm going to keep it honest. Now, if you can't accept that, then I got to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I got to deal with for laying down with her. But I would rather go into this thing clear without me getting married to you, investing time into you, and getting into something, because it's easy to get out of a relationship. It's hard to get out of a marriage. You know what I mean? And it's a lot more red tape behind that. So it's best to come clean now. Listen, I know your friend, blah, blah, Skippy. Because he kept saying, we had a lot, it was deep. You know what I'm saying? Like it was some, man,
heavy.
we was getting it in. You know what I'm saying?
It's better than him. It's better him telling her that
than her telling her.
Right.
And
So
I don't know her intentions.
Why do you think, though, because there's a key point that we missed, why do you think the bridesmaid didn't tell her friend that she has been sleeping with Jerry?
And that's the thing.
It's a reason why she didn't tell her.
Because a closed mouth can always get fed again.
Man, or she could be using it for leverage. She could be waiting because he ghosted her. She could be mad and like, she could wait till they get married and get mad and bring it up. Because if she friends with her, she probably know how she gonna respond. So it's best to let her respond to it now than to get married and respond to her. So it's a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? But regardless, it's best to tell her, because then that way, now your wife, that'll make her even trust you even more. Like, okay, because now she can go back and ask her, and as long as the timeline add up, she'll be like, okay, we won in it then. So now I know to keep you away from her too. Because she should have been told me. Then she could realize, maybe I ain't have a friend of her who I thought I had no way. Because you know him, you should have been told me about this.
I agree with that.
Okay.
I mean, I guess my thing is like.
No, I hear what you're saying.
I mean, like, if it was a bridesmaid where they was just throwing people in there and they really don't associate with each other, to me, I don't want to bring her no problems that she don't really need to have. You get what I'm saying? But if it's some type of relationship connection where that stuff can come around in the proximity, I get it. But if it was like a, you know, because when they pulling bridesmaids together, they not necessarily that person's best friend.
Right.
They just like 4, 5 female. This female may be here, and this female just
that you know.
So, me personally, I don't want to ruin something that ain't nothing. If I could just get in and get out, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I get what you coming from. Like, I'm not against that. Like the way you explain healthy. Yeah, I could do that.
Because she love you, it ain't gonna hurt her. Man, anybody that come into my house that I didn't hit, if somebody else bring them in there. Hey, let me talk to you, baby. That's one of my.
I guess the reason why he asked that is because you basically tell him to face it right up front, but he's skeptical about if it's gonna change something.
So, question:
you know what I'm saying?
If the roles reverse and your fiance slept heavily with one of your groomsmen, would you want her to tell you? And if she did tell you, is he still in your wedding?
You don't want to say
No, we all answering the question. You the one. Let him go with it first. Because my answer may be selfish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So let him go
first. All right. Moolah,
well, let me just.
I'll go first.
Most men ain't gonna want the chick if another nigga was heavily smashing it down. So he gonna be prejudiced through the door.
That's all I'm saying.
And now,
tell me.
Everybody been smashed.
No. Look, he talking about. No, we not saying if your man was heavily knocking her back, that ain't just smash. He had more time with it than you did.
Well, ain't necessarily more time. He had enough time with her.
Yeah, whatever.
Equal time, whatever. I need to know.
Life.
Right, exactly. And that's why I say I can live with it if you tell me. You gotta tell me.
But it should have been.
Me and your guy, I didn't know y'all was friends. But before I got with you, that's who I was
want her
with.
to tell you. Okay.
Okay,
Right,
cool.
okay.
Right.
Because
Where
now-
was one of
now
your
it's cool.
Where was one of your lame friends?
Damn. Damn.
Like, how could you do this?
That's why you always do that. That's always gonna come up. Like I
Hey,
said,
Red.
What the
Hey, look, but I'm a firm believer, and it go back to baby boy. Some people can't handle the truth.
My mama.
Now, everybody right. Some people can't handle the truth.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
But Grind, is he? If you want her to tell you, but is that man still in your wedding party?
yeah.
Okay.
If he my friend.
Oh, okay.
If he my friend-
Turbo.
But he didn't tell you that. He didn't tell
Oh,
you.
now that's something different.
Okay, he
Yeah.
didn't tell me. He
Yeah,
had
now that's
secrets
something different.
around.
Now, and let me explain that.
All right.
My man. My man.
Right,
Now,
right.
if he ain't tell me,
Right.
but
Yeah.
he know we together.
Right.
Oh
the
yeah,
reason-
I'm right there.
The
Yeah.
reason he can't be in it, because evidently you still got something.
Yeah, he didn't
exactly.
tell me. He
Still
didn't.
got
If he would have
some.
told
If
me,
he would've told
if he
me,
would
he
have
would've
told
still
me,
been in it.
he would have still been in it.
been
If
in
he
it.
would have told me, I would have learned to deal with it. And I'm gonna tell you, if I love that female, I wasn't gonna get rid of her.
Exactly.
Oh, what?
If I love her, I'm
If I
gonna keep
love
it real.
her,
I
I
was
don't
gonna
care
learn.
about her past.
I was gonna
I
learn to
don't want
accept
you-
her past.
I don't want you talking about my
But boy,
past.
if he didn't tell
But if
me,
he didn't
listen,
tell
if he didn't tell me, boy,
No.
he gonna be on the shit list.
Yeah.
Yo, cause
And
he should have told
and I
me.
want to know from her, like, is you uncomfortable if I do
Yeah,
have them?
exactly.
You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right, right,
Because
right.
you know, sometimes exes can be, you
Boy,
know,
y'all see Turbo growing up on
I'm
this
about to
world?
say,
Like,
man,
whoa,
who's this guy, man?
Them ain't his lines. He waiting a cute shot. That is not his line.
On the real, that's good. That's real talk, though.
that's-
She got to be comfortable, too.
I like
Yeah.
that. Okay,
For
so
sure.
look, Jerry, look, man. I hope that you took something that we said because that is I mean, it is different for men and women, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Men do feel a certain level of being uncomfortable, right? Especially if you're in my bridal party, my wedding party, whatever like that. But man, bro, only thing I can say is I would tell my fiance.
Lead with the truth, Jerry.
Look, babe, I don't know what she on, but so and so happened. It's while we was dating. Ooh, that shit is old. And then let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you do not tell her and you get married to her, and then a year later,
Ooh.
some shit come to the fan.
You had you a good year in.
well,
know
she
what I'm
asked you,
saying?
was it good?
No.
Those conversations we don't want to have.
No,
man.
we not finna have that
Don't be
conversation.
asking me if she sat
Uh-uh.
on my face and all this
Right.
crazy
Wow.
stuff.
Don't ask me did she. Did you buy
Women
him the
get-
same
women
watch
get
I got?
wild, boy. They want to know too
They
much.
want to know.
They
I'm
want- they
telling
wanna
Hey,
be
you.
don't,
extra.
want to, don't ask no questions like that. Let that man be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Either you gonna accept it or you ain't.
You gonna accept the Turbo?
Wow. he doing extra stuff. Okay, so look, man. Jerry, we hope that we helped you, brother, man. Thank you for writing the letter, man. Thank you for subscribing and liking the show. To everybody that's tuning in to the show, man, we really appreciate you guys. This has been another fire episode. We talked about a lot today, man. So be sure you follow us on YouTube, TOTB_show, on Facebook at TOTB the Dopest, right? NDTV Network. Also, you can follow us individually because we definitely follow a lot of people that follow us, and we put out a lot of product over the show. So, Grind, one more time, man, tell them where they can find you at, bro.
At Holy Grind on Instagram or Holy Grind /H Grinds with the Z, not an S, on Facebook.
My man, Moolah.
Moolah Monster Collections on Instagram, Moolah Monster Collections on Facebook.
You know it, Scholar.
IG Black_Scholar.
My man, and of course, I'm Reggie Buford. You can find me at the NASSOCIETY or Reggie Buford on Facebook. Guys, until the next episode, we are the TOTB. We are
Thinking outside the box.
Next time, y'all.
See, things have come to head, time out for scared. You scared, reroute today and follow us down Courage Lane. They cages in, break down the gates. We want all the smoke, like we chiefin' on a pound a day, but not talking intoxicating rage. Not this is far more tragic than was comprehended. This has got to stop. I don't understand everything as a man. I'm authorized by God to make this petition. Believe it, especially when you hate and aim to kill a man. You do not have